Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Cutting Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom.
See, we need some cowbell. We need some cowbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 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 and yes. We are in the air.
Everywhere.
Dr. Z, and it's always ecstasy when you are next to me, but today's
Right
guest
back
is,
at thee.
you know, it's like sometimes you have like an intimidating person on the show where it's hard to focus on what. When we had Wolfgang Puck on the show,
Yeah.
I blacked out. Like a fainting goat.
It's the bull system of the world. You do know about the bull system, right?
Tell me about the bull system.
Well, when you have multiple bulls in a pasture, they're looking around trying to figure out who's the alpha bull, who's the dominant
Well,
one.
we had John Maxwell. We've had Wolfgang Puck. We have these big-time guests on the show. I sometimes black out. I'm in like a fainting goat.
So what happens is that your dominant alpha bull position, then all of a sudden you have to realize that you're not the dominant bull in the pasture.
And you know we've had a
And
lot
that tends to have a
Let's be honest.
young bull
How
pass
many
out.
times have I told a guest, we've done thousands of shows, how many times have I said, this guest has such beautiful hair that if I had that kind of hair, I would rule the world? How often have I ever said that compliment?
Never.
I've never done.
Hold on.
I've never done it. So
How many shows have we done? 2,500?
Yeah,
2,500?
and I've never said this.
I don't think you've ever said that. And you
Harris!
would know because you own a men's hair grooming
we have a
establishment.
men's grooming lounge. We have a chain of men's haircut facilities. We see a lot of hair, a lot of mops. Harris III, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Oh man, my pleasure. I feel so honored. All this, you guys are gushing so far, and it's only about my hair.
No, it really.
yeah.
We might have time to get into your book and the things you care about, but let's talk about the hair for a minute. Do you use shampoo and conditioner?
No, I don't have time for conditioner.
So you're just a shampoo guy?
Wow.
Just shampoo.
Are you
Shampoo.
like me, where you look for the stuff that has 30 to 40% more than they normally give you? You know, it's for free. I mean, do
Yeah.
you do that suave move where
No.
that's your move, or
No, I do go for quality of product over quantity of product. And just like conditioner makes your hair too soft, and it makes it harder to style.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, you'd have
conditioner
to.
is not good for gray hairstyles.
it starts off with a lot of confrontation there, Z?
I'm
You-
pretending
tell
like
you
I'm
what,
an
he's-
expert on this subject matter.
Today's
and I'm
show
really
is
not,
sponsored
so.
by Suave Generic Conditioner.
Conditioner.
This is where you guys start getting negative reviews. You're like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Okay,
Oh
now,
my
hey, now
gosh.
you are an illusionist and an author of the upcoming book, The Wonder Switch: The Difference Between Limiting Your Life and Living Your Dream. What is an illusionist for folks out there that don't know?
An illusionist is someone who uses principles of psychology, misdirection, persuasion, essentially principles that a lot of people would call deception, to create the appearance of something that seems real, when in reality it is totally fake. But they are used often to trick people in the context of a magic show. But those same principles that we use to trick people are universal and apply to every other facet of life.
Do you work for the mainstream media? Is that what you are, sir? Is that why you use your deception?
No, sir.
Okay.
I did learn the other day how to drown a hipster,
Really?
and that is you throw them into the mainstream.
Oh,
wow.
I'm gonna give you a mega point for that right there. Oh, this just in. That's good. That was good, T. That was good. Okay, here we go. So you have had a lot of success, but tell us, where did you grow up? What was your life? How were you raised?
I grew up in a small town on an old farm that was no longer in business. So just running around on farmland, making trails in the woods. And my parents had minimum wage jobs. My dad worked at a factory. My mom was a housekeeper on a college campus. So pretty much lower part of the middle class. Growing up playing outside most of the time, Southeast Tennessee. And when I was 9 years old, I dreamt of getting a baseball glove. I was obsessed with baseball, more with trading baseball cards than actually playing baseball. But there was this brand new baseball glove I wanted for Christmas and begged for it and never got the baseball glove that year. The only gift I remember getting at all that year was this box of magic tricks, and completely changed my life. That was when I was 9 years old.
9.
And life hasn't looked the same since.
Well, you know what? If you got the glove, I mean, he could be like Hall of Fame,
Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, I mean, whatever gift he was going to be given that year was going to he was going to excel in. So
When you said he was
Wow.
born in a small town, I keep thinking about John Mellencamp. Well, I was born in a small town. And I live in a small
And I
town.
got really good hair.
Probably died in a small town. You know,
And he probably got a guitar for Christmas instead of a glove or he got a magic box trick.
He got a magic box. Now,
Yeah.
so when did you start having fun with the magic box, the magic tricks?
It took a few days, honestly. When I first opened it up and saw it was a box of magic tricks instead of a baseball glove, I was pretty bummed. I remember my exact thought was, "This is really stupid." I didn't think it was cool at all. I didn't say that out loud, of course. I love my grandma. I gave her a huge hug.
Yeah.
I was like, "Grandma, thank you for the box of magic tricks." We go back home to Tennessee, and a few days go by. I get bored. I learn my first trick, perform it for my mom and dad, thinking no one is going to be fooled by this. It's way too simple. Their eyes lit up, their chins dropped. They're like, "How in the world did you do that?" And I was hooked, man. I thought I might do magic for the rest of my life.
What was that first
What was
trick?
it? Yeah, what was your trick?
was it? Come on.
Tell us.
It's called the ball vase trick. You take a little ball and put it inside of a vase cup kind of thing, covered up with a lid. You can make the ball disappear and reappear.
Wow.
You know, the thing is, my grandfather used to play these games with these tricks, Harris. This is how I've turned out the way I am. It's just paranoia, schizophrenia, the whole thing. He used to say, he had these two metal apparatuses he would make, and he would say, if you can get the ring off, I'll give you like $100 or something.
Wow.
And like, 10 minutes into it, 2 weeks into it, I'm like, I think my mind can't figure it out. Then like my brother or somebody smart would come along and get the ring off right away. Magicians frustrate me. I've seen them in Vegas, and because they do these things, and you know there's got to be a trick somewhere, but yet it's what is the trick? So I want to ask you there, Harris. You started having megawatt traction in your career, and you've went on to achieve some massive early success. Did you have a key mentor that helped you, or how did you kind of get that traction going?
I mean, to become successful as a magician, you kind of have to become or have a mentor. Because it's not really a school that you can go to. At the time, it was we're talking early 90s. YouTube wasn't a thing. It's not like I could just log on, buy an online course and learn how to do magic. So you really had to find a mentor, professional magician or an amateur magician to take you under their wing and start teaching you how to perform professionally. So that's what happened to me.
Can you share who the mentor is, or is it kind of a secret thing?
It's magical.
His name was David McMichael. To me, he was Mr. McMichael, and taught me my first few magic tricks that became a part of my first show. Finally got paid $25 by the time I was 11 years old. So it took me 2 years after I got the magic kit to finally book a performance. And man, when I got that $25, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Hypothetically, if you were on a podcast radio show, do you have any tricks that you do like on shows, like in situations like this? Hypothetically, for a friend of mine who wants to know, I mean, do you ever do those kind of like Zoom call magic tricks?
I can do magic tricks over Zoom, not over podcast in the way that I like to perform them.
Okay, I won't put you on. I can just see the camera. Look at the camera. Look at his camera. Look at this guy. Look how good that video is. Look at the hair.
I can do a trick for you guys. Do you want to see a trick?
I do. Yeah. We Z's huddling in here. We're huddling. We're getting in.
Yeah. All right. Take your hands, put them out in front of you like this. All right. Start by stretching out. That's pretty important. All right, cool.
Okay.
Oh, I heard some popping. I don't know which one of you that was. As soon as your hands are stretched out, take your thumbs that are pointing up. You're going to turn them down to the inside towards each other and point them down. Backs of your hands together. Cross one arm over the other. That's where things get a little more complicated. Squeeze them tight. Keep your thumbs pointing down. Oh, he's behind you, the guy in the black shirt. Make sure your thumbs are pointed down.
Down.
Perfect. Bonus points if you can wiggle only your pinkies at the same time. All right, final steps goes like this. Watch, follow along. Here we go. Thumbs up.
That's not possible. Ow! No, it happens every time. I can't figure it out.
I'm going to get it.
All right, this is usually where people do this.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, hey, I'll hook you up with that right now. I'm not gonna withhold my applause. Let me. Yes.
Oh man.
There we go. Okay,
Oh.
now earlier you said that magicians frustrate you. Are you frustrated right now?
Yes.
And why are you frustrated?
Because I'm a simple man. I mean, I feel like my algebra teacher was doing magic tricks on me when she's just teaching me algebra, and I don't get it, and then it sticks with me for a long time, wondering how you did it.
Yeah. So this is what's frustrating me about the state of magic right now. What's frustrating me is, even in your language right there, you said my algebra teacher always did this on me, as if it's like magicians are these people that are like, oh, we're out to get them. Like, oh, I really got
You're
one
getting
over
me right
on 'em.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like magic as an art form has been reduced to this like carnival sideshow act, where it's really no different than watching a prank video on YouTube. And to me, we've lost a really beautiful part of what magic is capable of, because it's capable of so much more than simply tricking people. And the reason why I call my book The Wonder Switch is it sort of takes this concept of magic and focuses it back on wonder, so that you can walk away going, that was beautiful, that was amazing. I feel my sense of childlike wonder awakened. And there's a lot of ways that serves you as an individual and as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as opposed to you walking away going, oh, I'm just so dang frustrated because he got me.
Harris,
I'm not really out to get anybody.
Sure. No, you're just out to entertain. I love it. Harris, how do you feel about these shows where they say so-and-so unmasked, where they show the tricks behind the curtain?
Real quick,
tricks,
before he answers the question, I want to give him time to compose his thoughts on this real quick, see. But I would like to cue up the proper music for you to ask the question again.
Oh, sure.
So I want to create the kind of, here we go.
The environment. Yes.
Here we go. On today's edition of the Thrive Time Show,
we're going to ask Harris III
Harris
a very
III.
serious question. What does he think about magicians that show their tricks? Go take you behind the curtain and explain how they just got one over.
Okay, I feel better now.
How do you feel about that? That was kind of a hot thing there for a
How do you
while.
feel?
Remember?
Yeah, well, it depends on how you look at it. Like, first of all, us exposing the secret kind of ruins the art of magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's interesting about that show is, while some magicians were frustrated by it, a lot of while that was on, I was performing a couple of the same illusions in my show that the masked magician was giving away on TV. Then people would come up to me after the show and they would say things like, man, Harris, there's no way that you did that trick the way that the masked magician said that it was done on TV.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is they were making up these alternative explanations for how magic tricks worked and then selling them to people. So they were like, oh, that's how it's done. Like, for example, like I can make something levitate on stage or appear as if it's levitating. But on the Masked Magician, they said that there was a forklift behind the curtain with a pole sticking through the split in the curtain, lifting the girl up and down. Like, I can assure you I didn't tour around with a forklift. But you see those TV shows, you're like, oh, that's how it works.
Oh.
But what was really interesting about those shows is shows in Las Vegas, Branson, Pigeon Forge, all these places around the country where magicians have magic shows. When those shows were on the air, ticket sales skyrocketed. The interest in little kids who wanted to pursue performing magic skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And so I think it's probably ended up being a really good thing for magic, even though it frustrated a lot of us, because it repositions the conversation around the secret to the trick. And I have become less obsessed with how do magic tricks work over the years and more obsessed with why do magic tricks work. And that's where I feel like magic can gift us so much.
Now, you earned your first $1 million, I believe, at the age of 21, but then you went bankrupt at the age of 22. What was the magic trick needed to make your money disappear?
It's a little trick called keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever fallen for that trick before. Yeah. I mean, I think about it. You grew up in a small town on a farm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden by 21, I'd made $1 million. And I didn't understand how to manage money, didn't know how to invest money. And all I knew is that I never felt like I measured up and was trying to show the world that I was the man. And so I parked the right expensive cars in my driveway, built a big fancy house in a wealthy suburb and filled it up with cool stuff, and wore the right jeans and hang out with the right celebrities, eating the right steaks and the right parts of town. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's not enough if you just keep spending. So I learned some hard lessons, went to the school of hard knocks and almost lost everything.
Well, an unsolicited way to save money is a little pro tip. Harris, I'm going to give you a pro tip. This is one thing that I do. I buy And One shorts for $9.99
And Suave
at
hair
Walmart.
products.
And the Suave conditioner
And shampoo combined.
It's a combo. So it leaves me feeling silky and smooth while still providing the illusion that my hair is clean.
Oh, yeah. So
it
good.
looks bad. And it makes
Smells
me feel
great,
bad.
though.
It smells great.
You know, I think at 21, despite having made $1 million, I'm pretty sure I just washed my body and my hair all with the same soap.
That's a man's man
That's
right
a move.
there.
That's a move.
That's a great
That's a move. That's
yeah,
a
that's
move.
a great. I worry about
yeah,
guys that have
because,
4 or
like,
5 different products.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my my shampoo and my soap was not on display for the world to see. So at 21, it was about managing the perceptions of other people, and it didn't matter what I washed my hair or my body with, as long as it looked good.
I have audio of Dr. Zellner. I believe this would be last Wednesday. You've told me, you said, listen, stop miking me without my permission.
And
so you actually
how's
went
that
as far
worked
as
out
to
for
buy
me?
a new house. You bought a new house. And in the new house, you've said, listen, this whole house has been debugged. There's no bugs in this house. I've checked, okay? So don't put any mics. And this is something we're working through as a team, but I've got audio. This
Yeah.
is Dr. Z
It's,
here.
it's called it's a trust issue.
This is
at
Dr.
this
Z.
point.
This is you in the bath, I believe. Let me cue it up here. This is Dr. Z.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better.
Oh my
I
God!
leave
You
the
did
hair
not pull.
silky
You
and
did not mic my bathroom. Oh my goodness! This
Z-
is embarrassing.
Z, what do you think about Billy Madison? The movie, Adam Sandler, the actor. What do you think about his acting performance?
Don't make. I'm going to do a magic trick, and you're going to disappear here in a second. So don't make
Harris,
me.
he does not like Adam Sandler movies.
don't
He loves
say-
Adam Sandler, the man. He loves the person.
Yes.
Harris, do you like
I mean,
Adam
you've
Sandler
seen
movies?
you've seen one. You've seen every single Adam Sandler movie. So therefore, it saves you a lot of money.
Harris, do you like Adam Sandler
I
movies?
feel like he's branching out. Didn't he do some? He did a film.
Yeah, the one
recently,
about the
right, where he
the
was-
jewelry heist, or not the jewelry heist,
Yeah,
but the
I
jewelry
haven't
thing.
seen it
Yeah.
yet, but I wanted to see that for that reason, because I felt like maybe we'd see a new side of Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a new side of
But do you like the side that I like, Harris the third?
I tried to misdirect you just now so I could get out
Thank
of
you.
answering that
Thank
question,
you.
and you're really good at bringing me back on topic.
I just want to ask you. I mean, I've been watching a Chris Cuomo and Governor Cuomo videos to learn how to misdirect the misdirection. So I want to ask you. So do you like Adam Sandler movies? I mean, would you say that Billy Madison's one of your top three favorite movies?
I wouldn't put it in my top three. No.
Well done again.
Okay,
Well done
we
again.
move on.
There
we move
go.
on. So
There we go.
so you're writing this new book. Obviously, you've had some traction since losing it all. How did you build it back, and what inspired you to write this new book?
Oh man, that thing I mentioned earlier, which is I stopped caring about how magic tricks work. I mean, I had to care about how they worked, but when you get a magic kit as a little kid, that's all you're obsessed with. And people who aren't magicians, when they go to a magic show, they're just like, how did you do that? And I had an experience in my mid-20s that made me go, okay, wow, but why do magic tricks work? And that's when I realized that all these principles of deception were universal, that the same way that we trick people in a magic show is really the same way that we're tricked into believing anything. And I stumbled across the power of narrative and storytelling, that the reason I'd lost $1 million by 22 is because I had been tricked and led to tell myself a bunch of stories that weren't true. And I thought, well, if the stories that I'm telling myself is what drives all of my thinking and worldview and human behavior, then surely if I have the power to change my own narrative and change the stories that I tell myself, surely I can influence the stories that other people are telling themselves. And so it sort of created a shift in my career as an illusionist and also as an entrepreneur. It really changed everything, because it set me on a whole new path where I stopped thinking of myself as a magician who told stories in my show. I started thinking of myself as a storyteller who happens to perform and know a few magic tricks. That's really the heart of it.
Would you say that most people need to maybe change how they view themselves? Or do you think this is a common thing, that people need to change how they view and perceive themselves?
Yeah, no doubt. It doesn't take more than a few tricks to show us, anyone really, that seeing is not always believing. What we see is not always what we get. And humans, to be honest, we kind of suck at figuring out what the truth is based on what our senses perceive or what our feelings tell us. But most of us are walking around living as if seeing is believing. And when someone introduces a new concept or a new belief system or a new story, is like, hey, but what if this is possible? We're like, I'll believe in that when I see it, right? But what the neuroscience supports and shows, especially when they partner with magicians to understand the human brain and how it perceives information through our senses and feelings, what they always confirm is that while seeing is a believing is actually seeing, that what we believe has the power to change what we see. And a lot of people hear me say that and they're like, oh man, this is like the woo-woo thing.
The
where it's
woo-woo.
like the secret. Yeah, like I just believe in it, and then the law of attraction brings it to me and I can just manifest it. And that's not really at all what I'm talking about. Like if we are stuck and need a creative solution to something, it's that the belief that solution could exist is what gives us permission to go explore and brainstorm and create it.
We're here. Harris, we're going to do this as we're talking about your new book, The Wonder Switch, the difference between limiting your life and living your dream. We're going to go around the horn here, kind of a virtual town hall, Z. We're going to go come in hot.
Town hall, that's a hot
and
topic.
So you're
right
going to
now.
ask a tough question. Pastor Craig Hagan's going to have to ask a tough question. Krista with Weldhouse is going to ask a question, and then I'm going to ask the worst, most trivial question possible to demonstrate my Z, your mental might over me. Z, are you prepared? Are you prepared?
Oh, I'm absolutely.
What's your
prepared.
question, sir?
Well, I love the idea that you're a storyteller at this point. And I was wondering, of all the magicians you've seen, because I'm sure you've seen them all, who's your favorite, and who do you think are the top 3 all time?
Oh, wow.
You gotta take yourself out of the
Whoa.
equation.
Whoa.
We know your hair put you right up there with the best of them.
Obviously,
just right
great
off the bat. But which one, if you had to sit down for an hour and watch somebody, who would it be? And then what are your top 3 just overall magicians?
Early Teller from Penn and Teller is probably one of the most genius magicians of all time.
Is that the
David
quiet one or the
Copperfield.
loud one?
He is the quiet one that never speaks.
Okay, I like him. The loud one I don't like so much.
Yeah, Teller is. His magic is beautiful. He's highly respected in the magic community. David Copperfield. I'm a massive fan of David Copperfield. Seems like his career has shifted. I feel like I don't know what it is. He's lost his sense of wonder. His magic is still awesome, but he as a performer feels like he's getting tired. But had a huge influence on my career as a kid, and really was the first magician of that era to approach magic through the lens of storytelling. And there's another performer in the UK by the name of Darren Brown, who's mostly a mentalist, hypnotist. Most of his magic is rooted in psychology. I like his performance style. So I would say from purely an artistic approach to the art of illusion and magic tricks, those would be my top 3.
Cool.
Pastor Craig, you're a pastor. You work with large audiences. You're around audiences all the time. I'm sure you've seen a guest come in that has failed to wow the crowd. Maybe not at your church, but at other churches. I'm sure you've seen some people that mesmerize the crowds. What question do you have here for the magician Harris III?
Well, let me say this. When I was young, I got a magic hat with all kinds of stuff. And I did a couple of tricks as well. And I know some really good Christian musicians, but I get asked all the time. For some reason, people think that illusionists are also satanic for whatever reason. I don't know why. And do you ever get asked that question, and how do you answer that?
Yeah, I think the reason they think that is because we tend to fear what we don't understand. But it's ironic, right? Because this is an iPhone. I don't look at my iPhone and be like, I have no idea how this beams my voice around the world. I can't explain how it works, but I don't think this is demonic.
Put the phone down. It's scary.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
And
heliphone.
so
It's a heliphone.
I think people, a lot of it goes back to the fact that we've lost our sense of wonder, right? So I can always take it back to that. But the short answer is it's not satanic. Yes, I get asked that all the time. But look, what I do is really hard. It takes hours of practice. And if there is a devil named Satan, I don't want him to get credit for my hard work because some of this stuff takes years of practice. And if I really had some sort of supernatural power, I don't think I'd walk around asking people to choose a card from a deck of cards. I think I'd be using my powers differently. So,
Lottery
fact-
picks.
yeah, I don't know how Magic God showcases satanic when guys used to pull rabbits out of hats and cut people in half and put them back together again. It's just, if I were Satan, it's not how I would use my magical powers.
Now, Krista, with 60 seconds left to go, what question would you have for today's guest, Harris III?
Well, I actually still have my fingers locked and my thumbs pointed down over here, so we're going to have to talk later.
Yeah, we have to unwind this.
Yeah, but my daughter, her name is Breckley. She is always trying to hide things from me, make things disappear. She thinks magic tricks are the greatest. If you could give any young kid a suggestion or advice or what type of kit to buy to get started, what would you suggest?
Good question.
Oh, I mean, I think as long as you learn any magic trick you want over the internet, over YouTube, try to learn it from someone who has performed magic professionally for a while. YouTube is filled with an abundance of kids whose parents buy them tricks and they have no experience performing that trick in front of a live audience. They're just there to grow a YouTube channel by revealing the secret to how a trick works. But the secret of a magic trick and the reason why it works is not in the little device or the secret move. It is in the presentation and in the story that takes part of it. So a lot of people think misdirection is, hey, look over there. The misdirection is in the story. It's how I captivate you. It's how I psychologically condition you through the presentation. So you got to perform, and learn from an amateur or professional. But you could do that online over the internet.
Harris,
That's how you keep our thumbs down. That's why you do it. That's how you keeping the thumbs down.
Harris, are you called a master magician, or what would you call yourself?
I mean, for years I was billed as a master illusionist. I was sort of classically trained from a magician's perspective. And what I mean by that is simply in the same way that a musician would be classically trained with a mentor over the course of years and had to study different genres of music. I had to study different genres of magic with mentors, as opposed to teaching myself over the internet via YouTube, like I just recommended. It wasn't an option for me.
Well, Harris, I appreciate you being with us on today's show. One more time, your book, The Wonder Switch, the difference between limiting your life and living your dream. Where do you recommend people pick it up? Do you want them to go on Amazon? Is there a certain website people need to go to? Or where would you recommend people purchase your book?
Yeah, you can get it anywhere books are sold, wherever you buy your books. If they don't have in stock, they can order more of them. The easiest thing to do is just go to thewonderswitch.com. There's some easy to click links. There's some great way to support some local bookstores on that site as well.
Brother, I appreciate you so much for being on today's show, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!